picks of Equinage for Saratoga. That is the race simulation for the first race at Saratoga. It is a hurdle race, a state race, a G1. And don't forget to register your free user at equinage.com. You have there the QR code that is linked directly to the page where you can register your free user. I recommend that to you. It's the best handicapping tool available. In the first race of Saratoga, and I improvised some picks in the races when I was doing this clip in Spanish. As you can see, the 2 and 1 are the top picks, and don't forget 55% winning rate for the top 2 picks, and 12% in average, between 11 to 14%, 12% in average for the long shot. The win percentage is a second program based on stats, is a probability for each horse, is independent from these picks. The pace, the initial speed of the horses, the SOR strength of race, the competitive level of each horse in average. Higher, it means it was facing tougher competition. Record at the distance and surface, the competitive level of this record, and the GSR, the genetic strength rate, the pedigree of the horse in one number. And of course, you have a lot of information here. You touch a horse, you check the whole campaign of the horse, the workouts, even the campaign of the stallion and the dam. And you have there also the GSR plus, that is the genetic, the pedigree profile of the horse for each distance and surface. So in this race, the 2 clearly is the horse to beat here. 2 victories in 3 attempts at the distance. The 1 and the 4 are very equalized. The 1 is the second pick here, only 11%, and the 4, good GSR, a better SOR, and a good win percentage. So 1 and 4, 4 and 2, and 4 and 1 are the second and third pick at your criteria, and the 3 Auction Kingdom, a decent SOR, a good morning line that is attractive, and enough pedigree to try to be around in the final stretch. So these are the information for the opener, and then you have 6 and 3 in the second race, the first thoroughbred race for flat racing at Saratoga, the Mike Lee Stakes. And as you can see, the 6 is at the top here as well. The 3 is in the mix. Obviously, the pedigree of the number 6 is a dominant one. Also, the SOR is the horse to beat, the number 6. The 3, clearly the enemy with a good competitive level. Then you have the 5 with a lower competitive level because it's coming from a maiden special weight, I remember exactly. And the number 4, a long shot that you can use for the exotics. So that is the information for race 2. In race 3, 4 and 11, the 6, 4 here, the 11 only 8%, but a better competitive level than most of the horses that are over him, with the exception of the number 10. And the number 10 obviously has a very good chance to win. That is the reason I put 4 as the horse to beat, but the 11 and the 10 and 11 are the second and third options, enemies, and the 5, 12% to win, 20-1 in the morning line, but 9-1 in the connection morning line. The GSR is dropping, but it's an option for the exotics. In race 4, 1-8-7-5, the picks that I improvise using 4 and 4. Come on. 8 and 7 in their fourth race. I was reading this 4. In the fourth race, 8 and 7 are the top picks. The 6 is the long shot. The 8, 30% to win. Look strong here. But what I like is the pace dominance that will have the number 1, and that is a big advantage. And has a very good record at a distance, solid GSR, enough SOR. So it's difficult to ignore this. This horse will take the lead and will dominate the pace. And with that domination, I believe Mama's Gold has the top opportunity to win the race. Obviously, the 8 and the 7 are the enemies for several reasons. Despite the number 1 is not here, checking this metric and this, you need to use him. And then you have the number 5 has an option for the exotics, a horse with a good record at the distance and excellent pedigree. So The number 1 because her pace, 8 and 7, obviously, with very, very strong metrics, and the 5 for the exotics. In race number 5, 4 and 2, the picks, the 5, the long shot, 4, good win percentage, good pace, solid SOR, good record at the distance, powerful GSR, so at the top with the number 2, because the 2 has a higher SOR, a good win percentage, a better morning line, and enough GSR to win the race. So taking all that in account, and is here and has a better SOR than the number 4. So that is the reason I put him as a horse that the first horse that you need to use, because the money line, obviously, and this, the 4 obviously is the main enemy and very, but very well back. So these 2 horses, you need to use both. And then you have the long shot, 6% to win, a very good equination money line, 7-1 from the 10-1 money line of the track, a good SOR, and the number 10, decent SOR, lower than these 2, but with enough metrics to consider the number 10 an enemy as well with the 5. In race 6, 2 and 6 are the picks. The number 1 is the long shot, 2 here at the top with 23%. Then you have the number 7 with 22%. Now you have the number 2 here and here, and also the number 1 here and here. What I like about the 6 and the number 1 is the pace scenario. As you can see, the number 5 and 3 will go to the lead. The 2 and 7 are going to be around with good win probabilities, but they are going to be chasing this hot pace that the number 5 and 3 will establish. And I believe the number 1 and the 6, they have a very good SOR. They have a chance to run them down. So that is the reason that I use the 6. And the number 1 has the top priorities, and obviously the morning line, taking that in consideration. And 2 and 7, the 2 and the 7 will have a good chance to be deciding the race, but they are the favorites. So it's a race where you can box your exotics, but these 2 horses are attractive to be in consideration for your bets. In race 7, 1 and 3 are the top picks. This is the long shot. The number 1, 20% to win. The 6 is the long shot, 16% to win, but I'm not sure if the number 6 will survive this pace scenario where the number 1, who has a better GSR, more competitive level, better record. So the number 6 will have to face this situation, and it's going to be tough for the number 6. Could hit the board, but I believe the number 1 obviously will be winning this battle at the beginning of the race. So I prefer to use the number 9, who is coming from behind. The number 3, the number 3, see this situation. It's the second pick of Scotty picks, and this not happen frequently. Is the horse with the lower win percentage, only 2% to win. But maybe this stat of Miguel Clement training the horse for the first time, but obviously with his father, he was training this horse before. So I believe the number 3 will run more accordingly to the Scotty pick selection than the win percentage. That is what I think, and has a very good GSR. Obviously, the number 3 has a decent SOR, good record at the distance. So the 3, I like him, and he's coming from behind, has the number 9. So the 3 and the 9 will be coming from behind. There is 4 horses with speed. So I think you need to use these 2 horses. The number 1, because the metrics are supporting his opportunity. The thing is this pressure that is going to be suffering at the beginning, probably winning that battle, but winning the war of the race, I don't know. And the 5, 10-1 in the money line, 6-1 in the equination money line, coming from behind, and good record at the distance, good GSR. So the 5, I prefer that has a long shot than the 6, because the pace scenario, as I explained. In race 8, 8 and 6 are the picks. The 7 is the long shot. And clearly these 2 horses are over the field, top SORs, top GSRs, Top win percentages, top picks, 8 and 6 are the horses to beat here. Probably, as the number 6 needs to deal with this speed, maybe the 8 will be sit behind that speed and will have the top chance to win the race. That is the order that I use. Then you have the 4, lower SOR, but a horse that is going to be behind that has a good morning line. And the 7 is the long shot, 10% to win, good SOR. Is going to be trying to wear the field with the number 9. So likely the number 6 and the number 8 will chase them down, but maybe the number 7 could hit the board. If you don't like the number 7, maybe you can use the number 3. That is another option that you have here. And in race number 9, 5 and 1 are the picks. And then the number 2 is the long shot. And the number 2 with a high pace, a good warning line, and using the number 2 has a 4 option thinking on the exotics, because I believe the number 5 and the number 1 will be chasing, and they have a good opportunity to take the victory here. I like these 2 horses a lot, and they are at the top Scotty picks. Then use the 2 in the exotics, and the 10, 7-2 in the money line, 5-2 in the Quanesh money line, has the top SOR, a good record at the distance, and will be closing. So I believe the number 5 will be closing, the number 10 will be closing, and the number 1 will be chasing down probably the number 2. So use the 4 of them. I prefer 5, 1, 10, and 2 as an order. In race number 10, see the win percentage, a very tough one, this race. Now you need to use the 2, 12 to 1 in the money line, 17% to win. In a very tough race, is one of the best ones, and it's the second pick here. So has a good GSR. It's a very but extremely tough race. So obviously the 4 has a good chance here, 8% to win. There is some speed, not too much. So the 2 has a more chance than the money line is saying, is what I am seeing. And the system is alerting you that the number 2 has a strong chance to win the race. So you can ignore this. Obviously, the 4 will close, has a good chance, is the top pick. The number 5 is going to be closing as well. Has a good opportunity, is the second in the win percentage in a very equalized race. And the number 11 is Sir Lawrence. I use this horse because the GSR, this pedigree potential, Chad Brown with Verado Ortiz, and the Dan was precautious on turf on long distances because her debut was not better because it was on dirt and a short distance, but immediately, and by the way, at Saratoga, won at the distance at fair attempt and won 4 races in a row. So it's impossible to ignore this at 6-1 in the money line. So the 11, and I am not using a specific order. As you can see, I put the parentheses because I believe you need to, at your criteria, order those picks. I will combine 4, 2, 5, and 11 in a very, but very tough race in the last race at Saratoga on Wednesday. Good luck with your bets.